Hello, this is Judy Morio, and this is the World of Book Reviews. Thank you for joining me tonight. We're going to be talking about several books because I was on an airplane from South Africa home recently, and that is a very, very long flight. And so I read book after book after book after book on the flight. And I just want to share some of them with you because some of them turned out to be really exceptional books. And one of my favorites was a book by Michael Hyatt and Dan, and I believe his name is pronounced Harkavy, and it's called Living Forward. Can you see that book okay? Whoops. All right. How's that? Okay. It's called Living Forward. And what I like about this book, it says it's a proven plan to stop drifting and get the life you want. Well, you know, I've written a book very similar to this, but what's interesting about this book is while it talks about time management, it talks about setting goals, it talks about discipline, it talks about some other things too. It talks about breaking free of limiting beliefs. You know, so many of us have beliefs about ourselves that say things like, I can't do it, or I don't have the proper education, or I don't have the right training. And so it talks about how to actually get rid of and break free from those limiting beliefs. It talks about tapping into your deeper desires, tapping into what you really, really want. And what I really liked about this book was that it gave you actual exercises for you to do it. It not only told you what you need to do, it showed you how you need to do it. And it talked about standing in the realm of possibility. And I love that because when you stand in the realm of possibility and you're doing possibility thinking, it means that you're being positive and you're being creative and you're thinking of all the things that you can do in order to make your life work. And this book is really good about making your life work. One of the things that starts out with that I really liked is it talks about your legacy. How are you going to be remembered? And for those of you who've been through my classes and who've been in my online programs, you know that when I was 16, my dad made me write my actual what was going to go on my tombstone. He set me down one day because I was throwing a fit about my hair and throwing hairbrushes. And he set me down and he said, you know, what do you want your tombstone to say? And I thought, oh my God, he's going to kill me. You know, what have I done now? And he said, no, I want you to write down what you want your tombstone to say because that'll be like your North Star. If you know how you want to be remembered, you will always, always have a North Star. It'll give you a way of knowing where you're going to go and what direction. And this book actually addresses that, and it talks about leaving a legacy. And it says that when you leave a legacy, what you're leaving is the legacy is like the sum totals of beliefs that you embrace, and it's about the values you live by, and it's about the love you express to other people and the service that you render to others. And so what this book is really saying is your life really matters, and you're here for a reason, and it's your job to find out what that reason is and how you can go about doing it. So they teach you how to set your goals, which is really cool. They talk about SMART goals, the same as I do in my books, but they take it even a step further, which I really, really loved. It's they talk about your life accounts. So when you're looking at your different areas of your life, they call those life accounts, and they show you how to keep your accounting in balance. And I found that to be absolutely fascinating, that they give you a step-by-step how to deal with each of the areas of your life. So your career, and how do you plan that, and how do you know where you're going, and your relationships, and they break it down even to each relationship, and what you're going to do and the steps you're going to have and how you make these relationships really good, and also about communication and how you communicate within relationships. So I found that this book was really like a life guide. Like it's better than having a life coach almost, because it gave you more extensive information than you get just in regular books on setting goals and time management and that sort of thing. I think what I really liked about it was it had you start out by working out what your ideal week is like. You know, each week you have to imagine what your ideal week would be like, and then you plan your ideal week, and you give each day of the week a theme for the day, and you kind of work toward that particular theme for that day. And I mean, it was an incredible book. I'd have to give this book 5 to 10 stars if I were giving stars, which today I'm not really, but I think it's a great book, and it talks about how each day you need to segment out your day as to what you're going to do within that day in specific focus areas. And so it's actually helping you to have a plan for how you're going to live your life. And I think that's why the title is called Living Forward, because it's talking about how do you plan forward in order to be successful and make it work. So I highly recommend this book by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. It's on the New York Times bestseller list right now, and I recommend you run out to a bookstore and get it because it's fabulous. I loved it. I read it on the plane coming back from Africa, and I couldn't wait to get home and start putting their ideas into my life and into my plan so that I could be even more successful. So I know you will be too. Thank you for joining us tonight on the World of Book Reviews.